тема «Учимся вместе», про взаимодействие российских и вьетнамских студентов. Мы сейчас увидим наших студентов Екатерину Голомедову и Као Тхи Тху Ча. Это студенты второго курса.
Good evening to everybody. I'm Kate and this is Cha. We are sharing about the topic learning together, interaction between Russian and Vietnamese students.
Very well.
When studying in a new country, surely on foreign students like us are nervous about communicating. Can we talk to our Russian friends and will Russian friends help us? The positive thing is that not only me, but also many other Vietnamese students of the school were warmly welcomed by classmates. We have so many friendly Russian friends.
Russian students try to accommodate foreign students, overcome the language barrier, respect the culture and culture features of Vietnam.
However, we also face communication difficulties. First is the language barrier. Russian is a troublesome language for Vietnamese students, and most of us didn't know Russian before coming here. In addition, Russian people often speak very quickly, which makes it difficult for foreign students to hear and understand. Even Vietnamese students who have been studying Russian for a long time still experience difficulties in face-to-face communication.
English is an alternative, but not quite okay. Most Russian students who have completed English language courses in schools and universities understand that we'll not be able to speak English fluently with foreigners. Just like me, I hardly speak English.
Secondly, we have so many differences in communication culture. Vietnamese people often have a culture of finding out information about someone before getting to know them. We will talk more if we have things in common. At the zoo, there are many Vietnamese students, so it is very easy to communicate with fellow countrymen, and actually Vietnamese students do not have much understanding of Russian culture.
We and Vietnamese students have a different culture of communication, so it is necessary to find a compromise. Probably the Vietnamese feel like visiting, so they behave with restraint, shyness, and are afraid to get acquainted with Russians themselves because we're active and loud. And we, in turn, do not take the initiative because we are worried that we can impress or scare them.
And here we aim for comfortable and open interactions. So it's really necessary to overcome difficulties. Surely we need to be more active in communication. Vietnamese students need to be more confident in dealing with Russian friends. Adaptation is always necessary when you live and study in another country. Of course, Vietnamese students need to improve Russian language in order to feel more comfortable in communication. If you can't communicate with many Russian friends, get to know at least 2 or 3 friends.
Russian students should listen patiently to help Vietnamese students. Vietnamese is a very difficult language, which is known by a very small number of Russians. There is an option to use English in communication, but Russians, not everyone speaks it, and often at a low level, which complicates communication between representatives of 2 cultures. But this has its own plus. Together, we can help each other improve the level of Russian in English. Therefore, we are not afraid to communication with each other. A good piece of advice is that we need to learn about the culture of the 2 countries. The following speakers will tell you about the similarities and differences between the 2 cultures of Vietnam and Russia. Such information will undoubtedly help students from both countries to better understand each other and find suitable ways of exchange.
And finally, we need to learn more about Tомск together. We got a lot of pleasure from outdoor activities. We think that excursions, picnics, or just common meals will be a good opportunity for friendly relationship between students of the two countries. We hope that our experiences will be helpful to you. Thanks for listening.